Thanks. Okay, first file is virtual machine name.vmx. It's a configuration file. It is almost equivalent to a motherboard of a physical computer. Next file, virtual machine name.vmdk. Hard disk file, it's called descriptor file technically. And I'll write all the names, then we will discuss each file. VM name means like here, whatever the name that you enter for that VM. Okay, let's say if you enter like VM45, here it will be VM45.vmdk, VM45.vmx. So whatever the name that you enter for that VM, this file also will have with the same name. Okay, so whatever the name that we enter for that VM, that VM name dot vmdk. So this is a file. This is also called hard disk file. We will see. Okay.
Sir, you are on mute, sir.
No, I was not speaking. Thanks for that. Like just about to start. So first file is vmname.vmx. It's a configuration file. Okay, it's almost equivalent to motherboard of a computer. Without that VMX file, It's like you have an external hard disk, some data in it. Okay, if you want to see, it should connect to a computer, right? So like that only. Without VMX, it's of no use. Even we have data. Okay, it's a .vmdk. It's a hard disk file. Flat.vmdk. This is also hard disk file. Then why we have a virtual machine with one hard disk, but has two hard disk files in the backend? Why is it so? You have only one hard disk. So if you see your pen drive or CD, okay, external hard disk, internal hard disk, any memory capable device, memory chip, whatever it is. Okay. So if you see, if you store some data in it, the data will be stored in the format of ones and zeros. Okay, that we are sure, right? This is a hard disk. You are storing some data. Data will be written from here like this. So wherever there is one, there is some data. Wherever there is zero, there is no data. Something like this. The data is stored completely from here to here. And the first block is called meta block. If you go technically on the storage side, they'll call metadata. Okay, whatever the data that is stored here in the first block is called metadata. Or simply to understand quickly, it's a index. In your textbook, first page there will be an index. Okay, let's say the index will have, let's say topic 1 is on page number 1, topic 2, page number 10. So it will be written like that. So if you go to page number 10, actual content about that topic 2 will be listed there. So that's actual data. The first page only will have index. Here also the same. Actual data is stored inside all the blocks. First block will have descriptor information, which is called index. Index of the data. Let's say if you copied a movie, first part, second part, third part, like link, it will have linking to the data wherever it is copied. Okay, it's called technically it's called metadata, or on our VMware words we call it as descriptor file. Descriptor information will be there. That means index, nothing but simply remember like index of a textbook. Right? Actual data will be in flat.vmdk. VMDK will have only the descriptor information. But if you look at these files, only VMDK will be visible with a full capacity. We will see from then where we can see flat.vmdk later. Now then, .vswp swap file, and it's called virtual memory file. We will discuss about this topic later. We have like 30 minutes of topic about this virtual memory. Okay, we have 30 minutes topic about that virtual memory, but we will discuss about that later. Okay. And NVRAM BIOS file. Basically, if you power on a physical computer, laptop or desktop, a blank screen will display once you power on. Okay, it will show starting Windows, then operating system will be loaded. When you enter correct password, if the password matches in the password file, then you will see the desktop. Okay, like this monitor. Okay, so this entire instructions from the time if you power on a computer until the computer is powered on, whatever the instructions that passes to that computer will be stored in that NVRAM file. ఒక కంప్యూటర్ ని ఎలా పవర్ ఆన్ చేస్తే ఎలా బూట్ అవ్వాలనే ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ అన్ని NVRAM లో ఉంటాయి. ఫిజికల్ కంప్యూటర్ లో అయితే ROM ఉంటుంది, ROM, రీడ్ ఓన్లీ మెమరీ, కెనాట్ ఆల్టర్ ద కంటెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ ROM. ఈ ROM లో ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఒక కంప్యూటర్ ఎలా బూట్ అవ్వాలని స్టాండర్డ్ ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ ఆ ROM అనే ఫైల్లో ఉంటాయి. Fine. Here there is no physical ROM, that's why we are using NVRAM, non-volatile. ROM also it's called non-volatile. We cannot modify the contents. Non-volatile memory. So it will have basic input, outputs, is some instructions which is called BIOS file, and it will have the power on instructions for a computer. Okay. Now vmsd.vmsd, it's called snapshot file. There is again 1 hour topic, a separate topic about snapshot. We will discuss during that topic. Okay, we will discuss what is this VMSD later, why it will be, how it will be used, what is the use of it. And VMware.log. Now, if you notice, all other files has VM name. That means if you give VM45 as a name to that machine, this file will be created VM45.vmsd, VM45.nvram, VM45.vmx, like that. So all other files will be created with the virtual machine name that you enter. And log files will be same for all the VMs. That means every VM will have VMware.log only. VMware1.log, 2.log, like that. Okay. A log files will have the ESXi machine, let's say, whatever the communication that is happening from that ESXi machine to this virtual machine. Everything will be written in this log file. ఈ ESX machine నుంచి పవర్ ఆన్, ఈ వర్చువల్ మెషిన్ పవర్ ఆన్ చేసినప్పటి నుంచి ఈ ESXi host కి ఈ వర్చువల్ మెషిన్స్ కి మధ్యలో ఏమేమి కమ్యూనికేషన్ జరుగుతుందో ఆ కమ్యూనికేషన్ ప్రతిదీ ఈ ఫైల్లో స్టోర్ అవుతుంది. Okay, whatever the instructions that are passing after powering on a VM from ESXi host to the virtual machine, the every communication will be logged into this log file, VMware.log file. So one power on to one power off, one log file will be created. Very, very important. One power on to next power off. One log file will be generated. We'll have the logs. So whatever the instructions that are passing from that ESXi machine to the virtual machine in terms of memory, CPU, everything will be logged. Okay, logged in the sense like it will be written in that file. One power on to next power of one log file will be created. Okay, first file will be VMware.log file. Okay, next, let's say you powered off, one log file is created. You will power on second time again. One more VMware.log file will be created. Then what will happen to the old file? It will automatically rename as VMware1.log file. First file automatically VMware1.log and మారిపోతుంది. Next time if you power on, automatically latest file is created as a VMware.log file. That means VMware.log file is the always latest file. ఏదైనా ప్రాబ్లం వస్తే మనం చెక్ చేయాలంటే ఫస్ట్ ఇదే ఫైల్ చెక్ చేయాలి. So why it will be useful, when it will be used? If there is any problem, let's say yesterday 8 p.m. in the night this VM was rebooted. If you want to understand why it was rebooted at 8 p.m., you read this log file and see. Either someone manually powered off or it was initiated by host for some other failure. Okay, like that. So to understand what happened at particular point of time in the history, you can check these log files. And we will see at the end of the course, we will see how to read these log files and how to understand, how to find that particular issue. Okay. So, but remember, VMware.log is always the latest file. You need to check VMware.log file. Let's say you powered off for the second time, you powered on for the third time. Again, VMware.log file will be created. What will happen to this file? This will become 1. The old one will become 2. ఓకే, సో మళ్ళీ పవర్ ఆఫ్ ఆన్ చేసిన తర్వాత VMware.log ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ అవుతుంది. ముందున్న VMware.log ఫైల్ ఆటోమేటిక్గా VMware1.log ఫైల్గా రీనేమ్ అవుతుంది. ఫస్ట్లో క్రియేట్ చేసిన ఫైల్ VMware2.log ఫైల్గా రీనేమ్ అవుతుంది. సో ద రీనేమ్ ప్రాసెస్ ఈజ్ ఆటోమేటిక్, వీ కెనాట్ కంట్రోల్ ఇట్. It is automatically renamed accordingly. So if there is any problem, if you want, for some reason, if you want to read the log, always you have to check which one, we have the very first file or latest file. Always you need to check the latest log file, VMware.log file.
Latest file.
Yeah, thanks. The latest file you need to check, VMware.log file you need to check. For some reason, if you want to analyze over the time period, okay, you understood as a one reason why it was rebooted in even previous reboot. You read the previous log file. Okay, you want to know history about that virtual machine, you can read the previous to previous. So maximum, how many log files will be stored like this? Maximum 7 log files will be there. So the very first one will be 6. Number starts from 0, right? So it will be 6. So maximum 6 log files will be there. VMware 6.log file. This will be 5. This will be 4. Maximum 7 log files will be there. If you power on 8th time, okay, already 7 on 9. If you power off and power on again, one more log file has to create, right? So here one more log file will be created. The latest file again, VMware.log file, and this will become 1, and this will become 6. And the very first one will be automatically deleted. Permanently it will be deleted. Okay, we will not have any control about that. It will be automatically deleted and it is permanently deleted. Clear? And it's not possible to get it back. In some interview questions they will ask. You might have explained clearly about like log files, how it generates. VMware.log is always latest log. Okay, and you will better explain him. He will ask, my 8th file is automatically deleted. Is it possible to retrieve back? It's not possible, and practically it's not needed also. So if you want to understand for some reason why it was rebooted, you always check the latest file. If you want to understand history, check previous to previous. So maximum previous to previous. 2 to 3 log files is more than enough. Okay, it's not practically it's not needed to check the very first log also. Max 7 will be there. In real time, maximum 1 is more than enough in most of the cases. 80 to 90% cases, only the latest log file is enough. For some reason, if you want to understand even what happened before, check to previous one, previous to previous one, maximum 3. Okay, more than that, it's not needed at all. But still, there are 7 log files total available. That's why the 8th one practically not needed, and it is not possible also. Clear about the log files? Okay. Just remember VMware.log is always there. Sometimes you may see like VMware 32.log also. So sometimes that it's not mandatory that it is should be 0 to 6 all the time for all the VMs. Random numbers count, but sequence is same, bottom to top. Okay. VMware dot is always latest file. Okay. Okay. These are all the files that belongs to a virtual machine. These files, all these files will be automatically created inside this folder. ఇవన్నీ ఆటోమేటిక్గా క్రియేట్ అవుతాయి ఈ ఫోల్డర్ లోపల. When we create a virtual machine here on top of an ESXi machine, a same name folder with same name will be created in the ESXi hard disk, and all these files will be automatically generated here. .vmx is a configuration file. It is equivalent to motherboard of a physical computer. .vmdk hard disk file. It will have index of the data where we have stored the data. Flat.vmdk, it is also hard disk file, will have the actual content that we stored inside this machine. Operating system, D drive data, personal data, whatever the data, the application data that you placed, it will be there in flat.vmdk. VSWP file. If you power on this virtual machine, this file will be created. If you power off, this file will be automatically deleted. Then we will see why it will be created like that, how much space will it occupy, what is the use of it. So during advanced topics, it's a 30 minutes topic, we will discuss later. BIOS file, it will have the instructions to power on a computer. VMware.log file. When you power on a VM, until next power up, one log file will be generated. Whatever the communication that is happening between this ESXi and that virtual machine will be stored in that log file. If you want to understand what happened at particular point of time in the history, you can read this log file and understand that. VM name.vmsd. It's a snapshot file. We will discuss about this file later. Okay. ఈ ఫైల్స్ అన్ని కలిపి ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఈ ఫోల్డర్లో క్రియేట్ అవుతాయి. All these files together will be created automatically inside this folder, and all these files plus RAM and CPU from the ESXi machine together makes one virtual computer. Fine. Understood? Now it completes all requirement for a computer. Now it together works like a virtual computer. Whatever the components that are needed for a physical computer now available with virtual machine together works as a virtual machine. Clear? I will quickly see if we create a virtual machine and quickly see how these files will be created. New virtual machine. Select. We'll see there is another lab for this, like how to create a VM. Quickly we wanted to test virtual machine files. We'll select. Let's say test 45. Next, where you want to create. Next, these options I will explain again during the VM deployment lab. I will explain each and every step, so do not worry about that. I want to assign 2 CPU, 4 GB RAM, 10 GB hard disk. So now I have created a VM test 45, but okay, I haven't touched anything about these files. ఈ ఫైల్స్ గురించి మనం ఎక్కడ టచ్ చేయాలి. ఒక VM ని క్రియేట్ చేశాను. Just less than a minute of time, I have created a virtual computer named test 45. Just here you can see it has a virtual machine and it is not yet powered on. Okay. Now anywhere in this VM creation process, I did not touch about these files. ఈ ఫైల్స్ గురించి మనం ఎక్కడ టచ్ చేయలేదు. Now we will go and verify hard disk location. Data storage is nothing but hard disk it is located here in this storage partition. Right click and we will see the content of this partition. There is a folder called test 45 automatically created here. See, I have entered a name as a test 45 here. It automatically created a folder here. Double click on it. You can see the files here. VMX, VMSD. See, name of the file test45.vmx, test45.vmsd, test45.vmdk. HLog, it's just a hardware log. It's of no use. Okay, and technically, it's just a supporting file to communicate with hard disk. Okay, the hardware communication. Okay, these are the important files: vmsd, vmdk.vmx. We discussed about multiple files. Okay, like vmware.log file, swap file, nvram, flat.vmdk, but nothing is visible here. Even if I refresh, there is the refresh. I think there is no refresh button. This one. Okay, refresh. Still no. Okay. When all other files will be generated, where can we see them? Just power on for the first time. If you power on for the first time, remaining files will be automatically generated. I just powered it on. It's powered on. Green color play button is enabled. That means it's powered on. All are powered on here. See, this is powered off. While looking at the icon itself, we can say it's powered on or off. Okay, just plain blue, it's a powered off. Green color play button, it's a powered on. Okay, now test 45 is powered on. We'll verify the partition again. Test 45, double click on the folder, or you can select here also. If you select here also, it will be like, you can see ramesh.vmdk, ramesh.nvram, like that. Test 45, you can see test 45.vmsd, test 45.vmdk. Okay, vmware.log file is generated. Okay, and which file? NVRAM, VSWP. Okay, this one, VSWP. This is log file for, like you can see LCK and this one, right? These are log files for the respective swap files. You can see two swap files, right? It's not like two swap files, it's one swap. This is the main file and this is a log of that file. And this vmx.lck is also log file on this vmx file. When you power on a VM, this ESXi machine will place a log on these files, virtual machine files. Okay. That's why we'll see LLCK file here. Fine. So test for, but here you can see VMware.log file. I'll go to Ramesh VM and see. Here you can see VMware.log file. But other files will Ramesh.nvram. Understood? The name of the other files versus name of the log files. ప్రతి VM కి log files VMware అనే ఉంటాయి. VMware.log file అనే ఉంటాయి. ఏ VM చూసినా అదే నేమ్ తో ఉంటాయి. But remaining files with its VM name. Fine. Now here you can see VMware.log, VMware1.log, VMware2.log, 3.log. It was powered on and powered off for so many times on that day when it was done on 7th July. Clear? Only one log file. I'll power off and power on, one more log file will be created. When you power off, that VSWP file will be automatically powered off, automatically deleted. Now I have powered up the VM. VSWP file is missing. See, NVRAM and log file will stay back and VSWP file will be deleted. When you power on, again one more file will be created. Now you clearly see VMware.log file, right? Now I will go here. I will power on and again. VMware1.log. It was the previous file. Now at 3:31 p.m. it's a system time. Okay, VMware.log file is created. Okay, automatically renamed. And VSWP file is again created. Okay, all other files remain same. Fine. This happens automatically in real time. You don't need to verify these things. But for some reason, if you want to check, here we can check. They will be automatically generated. So now we will see the content of VMX file, how to see content of that file. Just go to the same location, test 45, select VMX file, download file. This file, you can bring it to your laptop from wherever you have connected the session. Download here, okay? The file will be downloaded. It's now downloaded. Better to open with WordPad instead of Notepad. You can open, but all the lines will be just in one single line if it is a Notepad. If you open with Notepad, it will be in single line. If you see, it's already formatted in the doc. That's why it's showing clearly. Okay, Word doc already I have opened. That's why WordPad. This structure is already laid out. It will be like this. So these lines, if you are aware of computer hardware properly, you will be able to understand all these lines of things. But you don't need to download this file and do anything like this. But very rare cases, and throughout my almost 10 years of experience, maybe once or twice I have downloaded. Okay, even in older version. In the latest version, I am not even downloading from last 5 years. Okay, the older version we used to do like this, download and change whatever we want to do. Now the scripting languages and automation tools and vCenter itself, we have a lot of options. If you want to modify here, we can modify from vCenter itself or using scripts. Recently we got a practical need to change this ID. We used to, now there is a VM created, right? The VM is created here, test 45. We used to make a duplicate VM from this VM. There is a concept called clone, technically allowed. Another VM with the same content Whatever the data that is stored in this machine will be copied into another VM. 2 VMs we get. Once you do that, everything changes. RAM, CPU, name, whatever the things that you need, you can change. But this was not changing. BIOS ID. It's called BIOS ID. There are very few applications, okay, which depends based on this ID also. Very few applications, the finance applications, okay, the application which was running on that VM identified this same BIOS ID for all the VMs because that was duplicated from source VM. ఈ VM యూజ్ చేసుకొని మల్టిపుల్ VMs ని క్రియేట్ చేశారు. అన్నిట్లో ఉన్న నేమ్, ర్యామ్, CPU అన్ని మార్చారు. ఫైన్. కానీ ఈ BIOS ID అన్నిటికీ ఒకటే సేమ్ ఉండింది బికాస్ వి కాపీడ్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ ఫైల్. ఇట్స్ లైక్ కాపీ పేస్ట్ లాగా కాపీ పేస్ట్ చేసాం. ఈ ఐడి సేమ్ ఉండింది. That finance application was not working because it has same ID. One thing we had to manually download here, change something like here FB. Let's say I will put like F7 and then upload it. Else there was a script, we can manually update this information also. Via ESXi, we'll go to VMX file and update it. So that's why like people are using scripts instead of manually doing this one. VMware not even recommending this way now. You don't need to download VMX file and download, do anything. You can do it from the other interfaces, API, which is called scripting. You don't need to know all those scripting and all. Doesn't worry. Like these very rare cases. Fine. Any questions as of now? Understood how a virtual machine is created? Now we have not yet installed any OS. We will install OS in later next class. ఈ VM క్రియేట్ చేసాం కానీ దీంట్లో ఇంకా OS ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయలేదు. It is equivalent to a physical computer without OS now. Without no Windows, no Linux, nothing. It's just a plain computer without OS. If you power on, it will be a blank computer. That's it. See, it's waiting for operating system. No OS installed. We will see how to install OS here. What are the options available in real time? Which option will we prefer to install? Okay. Any other question for now? There are multiple ways to create a virtual computer. We will discuss all of them. There are 5 ways available to create a virtual computer. We will discuss and create virtual. We'll do lab on all the 5 methods, and in real time we will see like in real time which option will we prefer to deploy virtual computer. If someone is asking you for a computer to create a virtual machine to create, how will we proceed? So any other question? Fine. Like whoever was given feedback like it was fast, is it okay now? Are you able to understand today better, or you want me to go still slow? Just fine. Like thanks for like your genuine feedback. You are not able to understand, you simply sitting like that, it's of waste. Okay, better you updated your concern. Thanks for that.
Yeah, sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, it is compulsory to download this VMX file, or otherwise it will automatically create it, sir, whenever we will create a VM?
Whenever we create a VM, the VMX file will be automatically created. Okay. And we don't need to manually download that file.